Hello and welcome back to Jacob's Toys 5-minute figure reviews. Please do like, share, subscribe, all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. And in this video we are continuing with the retro Fantastic Four from Marvel Legends and taking a look at the Human Torch. So what is in the box? We obviously have the Johnny Storm figure with two closed fists and a couple of fire effects as well that are quite common with this type of figure, as well as this nice little back piece that already comes clipped onto the figure. So, the Human Torch, aka Johnny Storm. Now this is obviously the retro card one, so he has got those nice lines on the body as he did in the comic books, or at least in the earlier comic books as well. They run all the way through on the head, all the way down the chest, and all the way down on the legs and the arms. And I've got to admit, on first inspections, I'm kind of on the fence about this one. I really like the retro look. I'm not 100% sold on the painted flame effects that they've done. You can see here, they're just kind of a thick orange paint. I'm going to put these flame effects on the legs. I tend to put them on the arms on most of the figures, just because that's obviously where the power comes from in most of the characters. But obviously with the Human Torch, he turns into fire, and he's already got the painted flames on his arms, so putting these on his legs will kind of just accentuate that effect. And I think it gets, it's going to be proper fiddly, isn't it? But yeah, like I said, I'm kind of on the fence about him at the moment. I'm not 100% sure, because I do have the Walgreens version. I'm going to pull that one out in a sec. And although we haven't had a fully kind of flame-on version of Johnny Storm since, it is the version that people have been begging for Marvel Legends to redo ever since that Walgreens version. However, I'm not sure the retro one fully lives up to those kind of desires and expectations. But there we go, there's the flames on his legs, and you can see it just kind of accentuates the whole kind of flame-on effect. He looks really nice, there's nothing wrong with him at all. And if I pull out the Pulse exclusive kind of powered down Johnny Storm, you can see that they look really nice next to each other. Now the body shape looks slightly different. I don't think it is, to be perfectly fair, but it does look slightly different. So obviously when it comes to, but out of the two, I definitely preferred the powered down version, which is not something I expected that I would say, but I do think that the powered down version does look better in this case. Now, if I just put him to the side, I'll pull in a couple of the others. So this is the modern version. Obviously, this was a powered down Johnny Storm, just with the flame hands and obviously the fire effects. And here is the elusive Walgreens exclusive version of the powered up Johnny Storm. And I'll bring in the Pulse exclusive as well, just so we've got all four next to each other to create a nice lineup. So we've got two powered down and two powered up, and they all look very different to each other. That's kind of my first observation, is that they are four very different looking figures. Now the Walgreens version is obviously a more modern version of him, and this new one is obviously the retro one. But I think them two there, the Pulse exclusive powered down and the Walgreens powered up, are my two favourite. But if we just have a look at the two fully flame on versions of Johnny Storm, you can see that there's a lot of similarities but then a lot of differences. Now the first one to point out is the colour. The colours are very different, but also the legs as well. The legs are two very different moulds. The retro one is just your standard kind of legs, whereas the Walgreens one has kind of flames attached to it. Now if I just stand them next to each other, I'm going to grab a light in a second just so that you can see how translucent they are and how well they work with a light effect as well. But I think if I was to pick one of the two, which one I'd prefer, it would definitely be the Walgreens version. Also because he's got the Fantastic Four emblem on his chest, which in a lot of the comic books obviously he kept when he flamed on. Now the retro one is definitely a good one. There's, I can't knock it. It's got butterfly joints that the Walgreens one hasn't, and there's a lot of kind of flexibility. You can move them around, but I don't know. There's just something about it. The Walgreens one definitely holds its own against this new version. Here's the light. Like I said, the new retro version is very translucent, whereas the Walgreens one is less translucent, and you can see the feet actually look like boots, whereas the Walgreens one is translucent all the way from head to toe, which is a really nice touch when it comes to obviously taking photos. But I think that where they've tried to replicate the flame on effect and they've gone for the retro look, I think the Walgreens one is definitely the better of the two. Now, unfortunately, the Walgreens one now is just behind the timer there, but I just want to bring all four of them back. So I think these two here on the left-hand side, the powered down retro version, the Pulse exclusive, and the powered up Walgreens version are my two favourite. But I do love the modern one. I love the hands and the flame effects going up the arms, and the retro one has got something special about it in regards to obviously having those lines and being very true to the way that the Human Torch looked in those earlier comic books. But it's great that there are 4 very different figures for one character. That's a definite plus. So I can't really complain a lot. I can definitely display all 4 of these and be happy that there's 4 very different looks. Thanks very much for watching. If you are enjoying the 5 minute figure reviews, then please do like, share, subscribe, all of those things, and do check my channel for the other figures in the Retro Fantastic 4 line, as I have done reviews on all of those. And I'll catch you next time.